Today, we're diving deep into the world of Geelanor. And listen, this isn't just about another video game. We're talking about a virtual crucible, a place where ordinary people, sitting at their desks, get transformed into these epic heroes. We're going to break down exactly how RuneScape's quests actually builds champions from the ground up.
So every single adventurer in RuneScape starts out as, well, a nobody, just another face in the crowd. And right from the get-go, you're hit with this fundamental choice. You can, hang out in the safe zones, chop trees, fight some goblins, do the same old thing forever. Or you can step through a gate just like this one. You can make the choice to face the unknown, the impossible, and start that journey to becoming something more.
And that really brings us to the core idea of this whole explainer. RuneScape's quests, they are so much more than just a to-do list. Think of them like a curriculum, a carefully designed training ground for becoming a hero. They're the forge, the fire, the hammer, everything needed to shape a regular player into a legit, extraordinary champion.
All right, so how does this whole transformation even begin? It starts with a hero's call. See, in Geelanor, quests are these massive, defining moments. They're not just there to check your combat level. No, they test your character. They demand you show courage when you're scared out of your mind and use your brain when just hitting something won't work. This is where the real forging starts. And these quests, they're basically engineered to plant these specific seeds of what makes a champion. It's not an accident. You're thrown into situations that demand real courage under fire. Then you're hit with these puzzles that force you to think strategically, to actually outsmart your enemies instead of just overpowering them. And through all of it, all the failures and eventually the big wins, you start building that resilience. And that is the true mark of a legend.
Okay, so let's dig into this a bit. What really separates these challenges from, the boring to-do lists you find in so many other games? Why do RuneScape quests create heroes and not just high-level characters with fancy gear? Let's break down that huge difference.
And this right here, this slide just nails it. On the left, you've got your typical MMO tasks. Collect 10 of this, kill 20 of that. Let's be honest, they're chores, mindless, repetitive stuff. But then look at the right. A RuneScape quest? We're talking about navigating a political conspiracy, charting an unmapped jungle, solving ancient complex puzzles. These quests demand you engage with the world on a way deeper level. You're not just a fighter. You're a detective, an explorer, a diplomat. You have to use your mind, not just your mouse.
So these quests aren't all the same, right? They're different trials, and each one is designed to forge a very specific heroic quality. So let's get into some iconic examples. We're talking about the real rites of passage that every single veteran player remembers.
First up, we have to talk about Monkey Madness Eye. For anyone who's played old-school RuneScape, you know this is a legendary milestone. And the thing about this quest is, it's not a test of strength at all. It's a total masterclass in adaptability and pure cunning.
See, to beat Monkey Madness, you gotta realize pretty quick that you can't just fight your way through it. The whole island of Ape Addle wants you gone. You are completely outnumbered, totally outgunned. So what do? The only way to win is to be smarter than everyone else. You have to infiltrate their territory, wear a clever disguise, manage every single item in your inventory perfectly. It's all about stealth and intelligence, not brute force. This quest just hammers home that lesson. A hero's most powerful weapon is often their own mind. And that's the core truth you walk away with. After hours and hours of sneaking past guards, of meticulously managing your resources, you learn something huge. You learn that real power, it isn't about your max hit. It's about your ability to outthink whatever challenge is staring you down.
All right, next up, let's talk about a trial of pure, raw endurance. We're talking about Desert Treasure 1. And this isn't just some mission, it's an absolute odyssey. A brutal, grueling journey across a scorching hot desert, all to face down 4 ancient, incredibly powerful guardians. This quest tests your preparation and your resilience to the absolute limit.
And here's the kicker. It's not the same fight 4 times over. No way. It's 4 totally different tactical puzzles. First, you've got Farid, who's immune to fire, so you have to get creative. Then Camille drains your stats, which basically turns the fight into this frantic race against the clock. Then there's Damus, who shuts off your prayer, forcing you to rely on pure skill. And finally, Desour's demands perfect ritual preparation. One mistake and you're done. It is a marathon, not a sprint, and it tests every single ounce of your versatility. And this whole philosophy, it carries right over into RuneScape 3, with quests that test something even deeper.
Not just your physical endurance, but your psychological resilience. Let's look at a quest that really tests your mind and your nerve, not just how hard you can hit.
So in the Firemaker's Curse, you get thrown into these dark, hostile floors of Daemonheim. They strip you of all your best gear, and you're forced to survive with just limited supplies. But the real challenge? It's not the monsters. It's the insane psychological pressure. You're trying to solve these complex puzzles while the darkness is literally closing in around you. It forces you to learn how to be the calm in the center of a raging storm.
So after going through all these trials, what's the end result? What's the point? Well, they create this direct link between a specific challenge and a core heroic virtue. They're literally building a champion, one piece at a time, one lesson at a time.
And you can see it right here in this blueprint. Each quest is like a targeted lesson plan. Monkey Madness, that's your class in adaptability. Desert Treasure I, that's where you learn endurance and versatility. The Firemaker's Curse builds that mental resilience. And then you get to the heavy hitters, like Ritual of the Majorat, where you're making these world-altering decisions and you have to learn to shoulder the true weight of responsibility.
And this is the absolute core principle of how Gielinor is designed. You don't just log in and start as a hero. It doesn't work that way. You have to become one. And how do you do that? By facing down impossible odds, by failing over and over and actually learning from it, and by making that choice to take just one more step forward when every part of you is screaming to just quit. So this whole journey, all these lessons in being cunning, in having endurance, in being resilient, it all builds to something. It culminates in quests that act like a final exam. They're the ultimate test of the hero that you have spent all this time painstakingly becoming. And in old-school RuneScape, there is no quest that represents this final test better than Dragonslayer 2. This is the monumental sequel to the game's original epic, Dragonslayer. And let me tell you, this isn't just another quest on the list. This is the culmination of your entire journey as a hero.
Dragonslayer 2 is the ultimate full-circle moment. Think about it. Your entire heroic journey might have kicked off with slaying one single, relatively small dragon. But in this quest, you're tasked with saving all of humanity from being wiped out. You come face to face with the terrifyingly powerful dragonkin, and you have to defeat the final boss, Golvek, which is, without a doubt, one of the hardest challenges in the entire game. It's the final proof that a hero's journey never really ends. The challenges just get bigger and way more magnificent. And after all of that, after every single puzzle, every brutal boss fight, every hard-won triumph, you finally earn this, the Quest Cape. And believe me, this is so much more than just a piece of in-game gear. It's a declaration, it's a testament, visible to every single person in the game of the incredible, sprawling journey you have completed and the hero you ultimately chose to become. And in the end, that's the final, profound question that all of these quests are really asking you. It goes beyond the game, beyond the screen. When you're faced with the impossible, whether it's in Gielinor or just in life, who will you choose to become? The answer to that question, the one that's forged in failure and fire and triumph, well, that's what separates just another adventurer from a true legend.